Do you sometimes feel a little bored in life where you're just looking for that inspiration to just kind of kick in that will make you move off your seat and just feel so inspired to take action? Now, wouldn't you like to feel more inspired about life, about your work, about just about anything in life where you do bigger things, have more, or just create something that feels so exciting to you? And wouldn't it be nice to feel inspired all the time? Because quite frankly, when you're inspired, you are inspired to move forward, because that's where really the magic happens. When you're inspired, that's where the magic happens. That's when expansion happens. That's where growth happens, because you're being inspired to move forward. Now, if you want to tap into your inner flow of inspiration and make some changes in your life and really tap into that inner flow of inspiration, then stay tuned, because in this video, I want to share with you 7 tips on what you can do on a daily basis to feel inspired, to really tap into your inner flow of inspiration, because quite frankly, it's already within you. It's already there. You just kind of have forgotten, because, life happens all around us. So we often forget that we have it all within us. It's already there. So in today's video, I want to share with you 7 tips on how you can start tapping into your inner flow of inspiration and really tap into those ideas that are just lingering beneath the surface. That next step of what you may do moving forward to really create the life of more success, abundance, freedom, joy, happiness, whatever it is that you want. So stay tuned. Hello there, beautiful soul. In case you don't know me, my name is Kay Sanders. I'm a divine messenger and celestial healer, assisting awakening souls to awaken to their power within, so they can really tap into their power within, create more success, abundance, and freedom in their life, all while making a bigger impact in the world. Now, thank you so much for tuning in, for coming to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I want to invite you. Please subscribe to my channel and also hit the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I release my new content, because my channel is all about spiritual awakening, about tapping into your inner power, really awaken to your power within. So if that's you, if that feels called to you, then please be sure to subscribe. So let's talk about what exactly is inspiration. How can you really tap into that? So inspiration is really that nudging from within, where you have those ideas that just feel so exciting that when you just think about it, you just get fired up. You just want to take action, where you don't think about it like, okay, how's it going to happen and what am I going to do? You just go with the flow. Inspiration really is that fuel that helps you move forward, where you're so inspired to take certain actions. Now, I'm not talking about safe actions that keep you safely within your comfort zone, but I'm talking about those big, bold, inspired actions that really help you leap forward, that help you take that next step, that usually are soul inspired. Now, have you ever had that feeling? You had this idea and all of a sudden you just felt that warmth coming from within, where you just felt so excited, like it was like tingling, like you almost couldn't sit still anymore. That's what I'm talking about. That's soul inspiration. That is inspiration coming from soul nudging you to take that next step, whatever that is. And like I said, it's usually never something that just feels comfortable. Usually it's something that like, whew, that's a little big. I don't know if I'm ready for that, right? But I'm not talking about all that stuff that usually happens when we are inspired. That's a topic for another video. But today I really want to focus on that inspiration. Now, I know you felt it before, because like I said, it's already within you. You just have forgotten. Like, think about when you were a kid. You had so much inspiration. Have you ever just painted a picture that you had no idea where that came from? Or maybe have written about stories or just daydreamed. That's the inspirational flow that you have forgotten about. Because as kids, we don't believe in doubt and lack and limitation and all of those things that tell us not to be inspired, not to dream big. Life, society has taught us to forget about our inspirational flow. And I'm here to tell you that it's already within you. It has never left you. You just have forgotten. So let me share with you those 7 tips on how you can tap into that inner inspiration. Because when you're inspired, oh my God, it is such a beautiful feeling, because you take action. You do the things that you normally maybe wouldn't be doing. Now, on another side, I just want to mention that, let's say you're an entrepreneur. You probably have noticed that what as you're creating content or you want to create programs and those type of things, you're feeling kind of stuck. You're sitting there like, what am I going to talk about? What should I write about today? I need to write a post for social media about what am I going to write about? Or things like that. Now, us creatives, we need that inspirational flow. We need to tap into that inspirational flow. And if you're here watching this, I'm pretty sure that you want to feel that inspiration as well, so you can create what soul is asking to express through you. Because anything that we're creating, if it comes from that intuitive flow, it's coming from soul. It's coming from that part within us that is asking to be expressed through us. It's part maybe of our journey, of our mission that we are here to really step into. So if you are now ready to tap into your inspirational flow, that you're going to love these 7 tips. So let's start with the first tip here. Focus on joy and fun. Do something every single day, or especially when you are feeling not so inspirational, not so inspired, do something that is just joyful for you, that is fun, whether it is just playing with your kids, your animals, or with your loved one, or just, doing something that allows you to tap into fun and joy. Because when you're in joy, you're just totally connected with soul. When then the doors open for your inspiration to flow. Because when you're in joy, when you're having fun, you're not worrying about the bills that need to be paid or the content you need to create or anything like that. You don't worry. But when you are in joy and when you're having fun, you're really open to receiving that inspiration. Maybe you're doing something and you're seeing something like, oh my God, I gotta recreate content about this. Or you're just, oh my God, I have this idea. Because when you are in joy, when you are having fun, you don't think about all the negative stuff. And you see, the thing is, the negative stuff is usually what blocks inspiration to flow. So that's tip number 1. Try to find something that brings you in the energy of joy and fun, and also that creates that ease. Tip number 2, and I really love this one, is tune into soul. Really tune in, get centered, get into the here and now. Really tune in and allow soul to guide you. You may ask, what is to my highest and greatest good right now? You may even journal about this. If tuning in and getting guidance is a little hard for you, write it down. What would you enjoy doing right now? What is that next step that you are meant to do? And just journal about it. Let it flow. Inspiration is all about flow. It's about moving forward. It's not about being stuck. So I want to invite you not to think about it, because thinking, that's ego, but really tune in, allow soul to lead you, soul to guide you. Now, you already have that ability to really connect with soul. Yeah, it may be a little bumpy at first, but the more you do, the more you tune in and ask yourself, what would I love to do right now? What would give me that excitement, that inspiration, that joy? And see what comes up. Allow it to flow. And ask, what does your soul desire to create right now? What does soul desire just to do right now? And then listen, trust, and act. That's the biggest thing. You want to truly listen to what is that guidance that's trying to bubble up. And then trust that whatever guidance you do receive, that it's to your highest and greatest good. And then act on it. Act on that guidance. Now, it may stretch you. It may pushes you outside of your comfort zone. But it's okay. Soul would not give you anything that you cannot handle. So connect with soul. Allow soul to lead you. Very, very powerful, because you will be surprised what comes up. There may be even things that you've never even thought of. But if you connect with soul and allow soul to lead you, that's how you can really tap into your inner flow of inspiration as well, because it's coming from soul. The third tip that I want to share with you is stop doing things that you think you need to do. Okay? So I'm not saying like don't do anything, but I want to invite you to take inspired actions, aligned actions. Because if you just do things just because you think this is the right thing to do, or someone told you this is the thing to do, but it doesn't feel in alignment, that actually causes resistance and interference, and that actually blocks your flow of inspiration. So I want to invite you, as you're tuning into soul and really listening to that, that is soul inspired. So when you act on that, that is the right thing for you to do. That really feels in alignment. But if you're doing a lot of things, and I used to be there too, and I see it in the entrepreneurial world left and right, where people do the things that they've been taught. Like in business, you got to be on social media, you got to do this and you got to do that, you got to do webinars and lead magnets and videos. And the thing is, yes, all these strategies may work for other people, but if you do not feel called to do that, it is not going to work. Or if you think you want to buy this course or read this book or just go there or do anything, if you're thinking about it and it came from your mind, it may not be the right thing for you to do. And that causes then the interference and closes the doors to the inspiration, because you're listening up here but not feeling into your heart to see, does that even feel right? So when you have an idea, I want to invite you, don't just jump on it and do it, but tune in and see, okay, do I really want to do that? Does that feel exciting to me? Does that feel in alignment with me? Is that what soul really craves to do? And here again, listen, trust, and act. This is so powerful, because then when you get like, it sounds like a great thing, but I don't know. I don't know if it's really the right thing for me to do. When you then say, you know what, I'm going to put it on hold, because maybe it's not a right now. You can then also ask, is this a right now, or is it something for later? It's okay to just put it on a list of your, wishes or ideas or whatnot. I mean, for a time I had a little idea book where I wrote down all the ideas, and then I went with what felt right. So that's what you can do too, is write down the idea and get back to it maybe in a month or so, or whenever you feel drawn to revisit that. But take actions based on not just doing just because you want to do something, or you feel like if you don't do this, then you're never going to become successful, you're never going to become rich or abundant, or have the freedom. That is actually going to put roadblocks in your way. So don't just do because you think it's the right thing to do. That's tip number 3. Now, tip number 4 is change your perception around things. Because when you change your perception, the situation changes. So you may sit here like, oh, I don't feel inspired. Well, how can you change your perception around? What can you do to really look at this from a different angle? Well, okay, maybe I don't feel inspired right now, so maybe I just need some time where I can just tune in and relax. And that will open up the doors to inspiration. Now, when you focus on all the limiting things, well, that causes interference as well, because, well, you're kind of going down the rabbit hole. You're feeling low on vibration. That also lowers your vibration and causes more challenges as well. So when you change your perception around a situation, the situation changes. And that also then raises your vibration. And I want to invite you, I have a video that I feel called to share with you. It's about 6 simple practices to raise your vibration. I mean, that really, if you start changing your vibration, that also will then help you to really tap into that inner flow of inspiration as well. Because you're in a higher vibration. You are not focusing so much on lack and limitation and your to-do list and all the things you need to do or whatnot. You are just in a much higher vibration, which also then connects you with that inner flow, because you're not distracted by all that stuff. So I highly recommend that. Link will be in the description below. I really want to invite you to check that out. But change your perception around things. Nothing ever is as bad as we may perceive it at first. So when you allow yourself to just take a step back and look at it from a different perspective, you may then also receive amazing messages, insights into what is truly the deeper meaning behind this. That then also can help you let go of certain things, shift your vibration around, shift your beliefs. Maybe there is a lesson in whatever you're experiencing. So when you allow yourself to really change your perception around, you may then get that idea. Well, maybe you're realizing that what you have been doing up until this point simply doesn't serve you anymore. It simply doesn't fit anymore. So that too then allows you then maybe to go on a deeper journey. Like, okay, what do I want? Opens the doors for then going deeper and uncovering what is it that you're here to do? What is that next step for you? And then tip number 5, and this is also a fun one, start doing something creative. Like you can just draw or write or do something to kickstart your creative flow. Now, there's many times when I try to, whether it's creating a landing page or writing sales copy or just writing my content. Well, I mean, okay, the content is actually pretty easy because my guides are actually helping me. But whenever I feel stuck in creating a landing page and just I'm starting to create it, it just doesn't feel right, it just doesn't seem right, or just starting is very difficult for me, I do something creative before. Either I do something completely different away from the computer, or I just maybe just start writing about just something, or maybe I look at some pictures that really inspire me. So do something creative. You can look at certain things, maybe listen to things, maybe just dance around. Just, it's about expressing yourself. That's really what it is. When you start expressing yourself, even if it's in weird ways. If you like to sing, start singing. If you like to dance, start dancing, or draw, or whatever you feel called to do. But that then too allows you to really tap into your creative flow, your inspirational flow. Like I used to do that also when I was writing my book. I really had this something that's called writer's block. I was just sitting there and I was just, nothing was coming through. I just started writing about just nonsense. So like, oh, I really don't know what to write about. I just wrote whatever came to mind. And then after a little while, then I started thinking about my topic, what I wanted to write about. And all of a sudden the words just start flowing. So do something creative, because that will then also allow you to really open the doors to your inspiration to flow, your creative juices to flow. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, I had this massive idea. Really, really powerful way to start kickstarting your inspiration. Then tip number 6 is be still. Give yourself the time to open yourself up, to really tune in and open yourself up to receiving the inspiration. Because you see, the thing is, when you're always just doing, you're always so busy. Well, it's like, think of it like that. You have the little voice there trying to get your attention, but you're so busy, you're not paying attention. You're not realizing that there's something there trying to get your attention. So when you allow yourself to be still, you can meditate, you can journal, but you just tune in and you remove the distraction. Like, go into your room where you can be undisturbed or whatnot and really tune in. That's why connecting with soul is so important. But tune in, allow yourself the space to receive the inspiration. Like, if you're always just like every single day, just constantly you're on the go, there's no room for you to get an idea. Even if you're trying to get ideas or, guidance from the higher realms or whatnot, if you're always just busy, always thinking and doing, the higher guidance cannot flow, the inspiration cannot flow, because you're just closed up. You're just so busy that you cannot hear. You are not open to receiving the inspiration. So allow yourself to really give yourself the time, whether it's each and every day, or just every other day, or whenever you feel like you want to really tap into your inspiration. Give yourself the time. Be still. Open yourself up to receive those inspirational hits. Now, I cannot tell you how many times I even got an inspirational idea when I was in the shower or when I was driving, because I was just an open. And yes, even though I was doing something, but I wasn't thinking about my long to-do list. I was just in the moment. When you're in the moment, when you're in the present moment, then you're not distracted by the past, your to-do list, and all of those things. So think of it like that. You're then an open channel. Well, when you're open, stuff can come through, right? So allow yourself the time to just be still. And if you're having a hard time with it, because like ego likes to just kind of come in and tell you all kind of fun stuff, that it's just distracting. One thing I like to do is I tell my ego to go on a timeout. I'm like, okay, I don't need you right now. Go have a timeout. I'll get back to you later on. I don't need you right now. And funny enough, it actually works. Now, you got to be intentional about it. But if you want to just put your ego on timeout, and you can do this even whenever you feel like your ego is having a lot of fun with you, go have a timeout. Treat your ego as a little 3-year-old that can't behave. Just put her on timeout. Really powerful. And the 7th and final tip is read inspirational books or take courses, watch movies or anything like that. Anything where you can maybe learn something new or where you can really receive that inspiration. I cannot tell you how many times I was going through a course and whatever that mentor was talking about, it just gave me that inspirational hit. Like, oh, I gotta do a podcast about it. I gotta do a video about this. I gotta do something about this or whatnot. Or even when I read books, I get so much input that helps me then, infuse it into what I'm here to do, into my content, into the work that I'm doing. So when you read those inspirational books or take those courses, it can help you then also tap into your inspiration, where you then maybe get those ideas. Oh, I could do something with that. I could create something about that. Really, really powerful. And also that then also shifts you into that higher vibration as well. And I do have another video for you that I want to share with you that can also help you tap into that. It's a light language activation about raising your vibration, because when it comes to tapping into your intuitive flow, that's really the biggest thing. So as you hopefully realize with these 7 tips, all of them help you or lead to you raising your vibration, stepping outside of what is going on right now and moving up the ladder, basically, to move past the lack, the limitation, the not being inspired, the boredom, the frustration, whatever it is that you may be experiencing right now. Everything that I just shared with you, the ultimate thing is, the core essence of everything is, it helps you raise your vibration. So I'll also put that link in the description below. But now I want to ask you, well, for one, if you like this, do me a favor, hit the like button and maybe share it with someone that you feel that could benefit from hearing this. But I also want to ask you, what do you do to get into inspiration, to really tap into that inner flow of inspiration? Do you have a specific practice you would like to share with me or with the world? And, just leave a comment below. Let me know. What do you do to really tap into inspiration? And whenever you're not inspired, what is something that you do that really helps you realign yourself to really tap into that inspirational flow again? I would love to know. So there you go. You have the 7 tips of how to really tap into your inner flow of inspiration. I hope you enjoyed this. Now be sure to check out those 2 videos that I mentioned, and also be sure to subscribe to this channel. If you like this so far, the content I share, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification so you can get notified whenever I release new content. But I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, make an amazingly abundant, successful day now.